as youths are encouraged to venture into agriculture. Women of Oka Anglican Diocese call on President Buhari to take urgent action against insecurity. Good morning and welcome to the news at this time. I am David Opokwasele. Farmers anywhere around the world, whether into subsistence or commercial, hold the keys to society's food sufficiency and ultimate survival. In fact, the place of farming on the ladder of agro-societal importance remains tall, but only in a society that understands the indispensability of one of man's oldest means of living. However, what stands in the face of modern-day farmers, especially in Nigeria, remains as huge as it is often recorded. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe in this special report spoke with some farmers and stakeholders in the agro sector on the future of agriculture and agro-business in Nigeria at the sidelines of the launch of the 2019 Anambra farming season in Oka, and now completes the report.
Of the farming season in Anambra State, which has now become an annual ritual, serves as one of the rarest avenues for farmers' convergence to compare, compete, and chart a fresher course for the unveiling of a new farming season. The farmers displayed their products in series as to boast of their agrarian prowess or how their farmlands fared in the last harvest. Among those who bear their stock is this farmer, Dr. Foster Ezenwa, who carves a specialty in the export of vegetables, cassava flour, and local pear, among other export goods. Dr. Ezenwa noted that the acceptability of farmers' products at the international market should serve as a striving pinnacle for both medium and large-scale farmers.
It's an original business that has relevance to life and living. So long as there is life, there must be farmers. When you don't have farmers, you don't have a nation. You don't have people.
Mr. Christopher Okoli, who is the Anambra State Coordinator of Cassava Global 2000 Project, an African cassava agronomy project that empowers smallholder farmers, said the improvement of farmers from small-scale agriculturists to commercial farmers forms the bedrock of the association's blueprint, a model which they have perfected by improving the subsistence farming system through periodic trainings for farmers in rural areas of up to 7 states in Nigeria. But the huge question is how to develop agriculture in the rural communities and make it a more acceptable economic venture, especially among the teeming Nigerian youth population who usually flinch at the hearing of farming.
To improve their farming methods, the production and productivity of cassava and maize, and rice. And in so doing, we try as much. We have learning platform at various locations. We work in 10 local governments here in Anambra State. Just as it is here, so it is in about 7 or 8 states in Nigeria.
Mr. Alex Noruka, the head Anambra Community Farmers Development Forum, argued that the misperception of farming as an alternative venture has contributed to its growing neglect, especially among the youth, and advocated inclusive desire to farm as the way out of the hunger triggered by the neglect of agriculture. Prince Ugochukwu Obaleke, a livestock farmer, has been able to increase his agro margin with the help of loans from the Anambra Small Business Agency, ASBA, while Mr. Emeka Iloyalo, the Managing Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Business Development Agency, FABDA, both of whom agreed that the history of agriculture, despite the odds, is bright given the huge supports of government and other developing systems that aid the fertility and expanse of the agri value chain.
ọ gwara ndị asụba ha nyere m ego iji zụrụ ya ehi Igbo. Asụba weta ego azụbazie ehi. Asụpụtara ehi.
Have set everything in place and in motion to have self-sufficient fish production in Anambra State. Production is consistently and continuously increasing in Anambra State.
The Anambra Small Business Agency, ASBA, provides soft loans for small and medium-scale entrepreneurs in Anambra State to push up their businesses and become part of the developmental drives of the present administration. The ASBA boss, Chief Clement Chukwuka, said the success of Prince Obaleke's livestock farming paints a clearer picture of what the Anambra State government looks to achieve with the agency, and noted that the keenness of Governor Willie Obiano in this direction makes the objective even easier to achieve. In Oka, Daniel Ezigwe, ABS News.
And still on agriculture, Anambra State government is poised to boost aquaculture now as a sustainable industry in line with its agricultural blueprint. The Special Assistant to the Managing Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development Agency, Mr. Emeka Iloyalo, disclosed this during an interaction with fish sellers at Ose Market on Onitsha Odnakon Wolisa has a report.
Ms. Ilogalu said the interactive visit was aimed at ensuring first-hand information and experience in establishing a common front and harmonizing the challenges and prospects in fish production. He said direct engagement and dialogue with fish producers, among others, will enable them work out a business development plan in actualizing the state government's objective towards ensuring fish production capacity and volume for export.
We've seen the different fish markets, fresh fish markets, and the groups. Just in Anambra State seems to have some restrictions in sales. So we came to have a first-hand experience and engage the fish sellers and the fresh fish dealers, so that we understand what actually is happening, where they have challenges.
On his part, the state president, Aquaculture Innovative Value Chain Initiative, AVCI, Prince Emeka, pointed out that interaction will equip them with better knowledge and understanding in addressing issues as it affects fish production, appealing for regular interaction with stakeholders.
We came to meet with the people that are selling to know whatever is their challenges, because with them we can be able to achieve the importance of moving out this fish to outside the country.
Contributing, the state chairman, Catfish and Allied Farmers Association, CAFAN, Mr. Kingboy Ihani Chukwu, noted that interaction will help to champion a formidable force in harnessing the potentials and proper market arrangements for bumper harvest.
We want to harmonize all the dealers of fisheries in Anambra State, be it the wet table fish to processed dry fish.
Some of the fish producers who spoke to ABS, including Mrs. Nkirun Nemeka, exposed the team to some of their challenges in the production of different species of fish in the state. From Ose Market, Odinakan Wolisa, ABS News.
The Transition Committee Chairman of Oka South Council Area, Mr. Leo Muba, has handed over a 3-day-old baby abandoned at an erosion site behind Giel Secondary School, Amoenyoka, to the Ministry of Social Welfare, Children and Women Affairs. Correspondent Chibuzo Bidike reports that the baby boy who was picked up by some Good Samaritans was handed over to the ministry at the local government headquarters, Amobia. The handover was witnessed by the 4 children between the ages of 9 and 14 who discovered the abandoned baby while on a snail hunt at about 10 p.m. last Saturday. The child, suspected to be dumped immediately after birth, was found in a black sack by the children, who alerted their elder sister, who quickly took the baby to a hospital for immediate attention before handing him over to the local government. Speaking, Mr. Mumba noted that the council decided to hand over the newborn baby to the state to ensure his proper upbringing, stating that through the tender love of Chief Mrs. Babelechukwu Obiano, he will become a shining light for his peers. He described the child as a divine one who has survived death and thanked all who played significant roles in his survival. Narrating the story of the child, Ms. Onyekachi Eze said that the child was brought to her by her siblings while on snail hunt, still in blood, of which she quickly cleaned him up and later took him to the hospital and police station for checkup and report. For one of the snail hunters, Obinna Onyebuchi, on sighting the black sack, they thought it was a dog, but on a closer look, it showed that it was a newborn baby, which they quickly ran home in fear to alert their sister, who instructed them to bring the baby. Still coming on the news. Okay, we'll move on now. The chairman of Arawa Community Association, Anambra State Chapter, Alhaji Ibrahim Jubril, says the state governor, Chief Willie Obiano, is making frantic efforts to ensure maximum security of lives and property of the state citizenry. Alhaji Jubril stated this during a peacemaking meeting he had with the Hausa and Igbo rice, beans, and dry meat dealers at Obo Rice, Akun near Njote Street, Ochanja, on the South Council area. Correspondent Emengino Sadebe completes the story.
Addressing the gathering, Alhaji Jibril, who is also a member, Cattle Menace Control Committee in the state, said the visit was to create a good and lasting relationship between the Hausa and Igbo rice, beans, and dry meat dealers at the market, describing Anambra State as the safest state in the country. He urged his people to be law-abiding and pursue peace at all times, rather than take laws into their hands, while calling on the market leaders to accommodate them in their midst.
We find out that there is some small crisis that used to happen in this market between Hausa people and the Igbo people. So we don't want it to go forward. Let us clear it.
The President General Waliwo Layout, Chief Gineka Enyoha, and Chairman Oborais Waliwo Onitsha, Engineer Charles Ohia, applauded Governor Obiano for initiating the gathering, adding that they have been looking forward for such gathering and advised the Hausa traders to ensure they maintain peace by reporting any of their grievances to the market leadership appropriate action.
Being the chairman of this place, I've been having a lot of problems about all this, like this Hausa and Igbo of a ten. But my advice is, we are brothers and sisters.
But what I saw today is very, very marvelous. I love that, and my people, they are celebrating, enjoying that this kind of gathering is supposed to be doing even every once in a year.
The commander, Arewa Community Task Force, Anambra and Delta State, Alhaji Tijani Jubril, called for peace and understanding among the traders, describing Nigeria as an indivisible entity, saying that nobody should take laws into their hands. The chairman, Hausa rice, beans and dry meat dealers, Alhaji Ali Mustafa Lafani, and his vice, Alhaji Alisu, expressed happiness over the meeting and prayed for peace to reign among the traders. Speakers at the meeting applauded the step taken by the governor while eulogizing the cordial relationship between them at the market and urged the visiting team to explain to their kinsmen that they are one at the market. Emengino Sadebe, ABS News.
The third Okada Women's Conference has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to take decisive action against herdsmen attack on innocent citizens for continual peaceful coexistence of Nigerians. The call was contained in the presidential address delivered by the President, Mothers Union Okada Houses, Mrs. Mata Ibezim, at the conference holding at Emmanuel Church, Ukulu, Dunkofe local government area. Correspondent Chukwemeka Modelem now reports.
Worried by the spate of bloodshed in Nigeria, the conference urged the Buhari administration to review the efficiency of the service chiefs and run a more inclusive government to arrest the security challenges confronting the country. It called for serious proactive measures against the alarms being raised by most Nigerians over alleged Islamization of the country, as such poses a serious threat to the existence of Nigeria as one indivisible entity. The conference welcomed the new minimum wage initiative of the federal government but urged them to do more to eradicate poverty in the country. The Women's Conference commended Governor Willie Obiano and his wife Ebelechukwu for areas they have impacted lives, especially the regular payment of workers' salary and security of lives and property.
Our dear Governor, His Excellency Chief Mrs. Madam Obiano Apokwedike and his wife Chief Dr. Ebelechukwu Obiano Sudieme, for areas they have positively impacted lives, especially regular payment of workers' salary and security of lives and property. It is very critical for Anambra State, Nigeria, to consolidate on the security of lives and properties, which is an integral part of her greatest achievements.
Speaking on the theme of this year's conference, Hold Fast to What You Have Till I Come, the Vicar, Emmanuel Church, Ukulu, Reverend Canon Bernard Obiekwe, explained that it is a call on women to hold their faith strongly and continue to be virtuous wives to their families and communities, no matter their living condition, in order to make heaven.
These women, after going through the teachings, the seminars, the ministrations with this team, for them to hold fast. Hold fast means to have faith, to exhibit love, to exhibit courage, to exhibit charity. I think there will be a difference in their homes.
In her speech, the President, Mothers Union, Home and Abroad, Emmanuel Church, Ukulu, Mrs. Njideka Angose, noted that the conference gives women opportunity to gather and take a stand on issues bordering the diocese, their families, Nigerian nation, Anambra State, and profile solutions.
We realized from the conference, we use this to build like a convent, we help the needy, we build a lot of things in order to help less privileged.
From Ukulu, Chukwemeka Modelem, ABS News.
The Anglican Bishop Diocese of Niger West, Right Reverend Dr. Johnson Ekwe, has emphasized the need to give God praises at all times. Bishop Ekwe made the emphasis while presenting his presidential charge during the third session of the Third Synod of the Diocese held at Emmanuel Anglican Church Parish, Umueri, Anambra East Local Government Area. Correspondent Njide Kokoe takes the story from here.
Speaking on the theme of the Synod, the strategy of high praises to God, Bishop Ekwe charged the people to commit themselves to a life of praises to God and fellowship with Christ to experience the fullness of God. While enumerating ways of giving high praises to God and its benefits, Bishop Ekwe, who commended Governor Willie Obiano for his giant strides in education, security, agriculture, among others, thanked him for his assistance to the church and solicited support for effective evangelism in the diocese.
On your current situation, take that back up for what he has done for you. He has saved you and given you opportunity to know and love you. Remember, he loves you with an unconditional love and will not withhold his love from you. Our deepest gratitude, honor, and glory belong to God. Praise him for who he is. Praise him for what he has done. Praise him for what he will do. Praise him for his worthy to be praised.
Adopting the bishop's charge as a working document in the diocese, the chancellor of the diocese and the former Anambra State Chief Judge, retired Justice Paul Obidigwe, noted that the address contained all it takes for effective evangelism, spiritual growth, and high praises to God. The traditional ruler of the community, Igwe Saben Emeka, who thanked God for the spread of the gospel in the area, described the theme as apt, especially now, adding that it will help in bringing people closer to God. For the Synod Clerical Secretary, Venerable Theophilus Edo, there are blessings in praising God, as according to him, one who sings praises is always happy and lives above his worries, while the vicar of the host church, Reverend Canon Silvanus Onyacholam, thanked God for his direction so far and urged the participants to practice what they garnered. The synod was well attended by hosts of archbishops, bishops, and government functionaries, among others, while the clergy, their wives, and other groups in the diocese appreciated the bishop amidst songs of praises. From Emmanuel Anglican Church, Umueri, Njideka Okoye, ABS News.
Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Radio TV Online. Follow us on Twitter at ABS Radio TV and on Instagram at ABS Radio TV. You can also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. This morning we told you that farmers have intensified calls for easy access to funds as youths are encouraged to venture into agriculture. We also told you that women of all Anglican dioceses have called on President Buhari to take urgent actions against insecurity. And that is the news at this time. I am David Okwasile. Good morning, Anambra continues right after now. Stay with us.